Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. I am Anjali. Today I'll explain how to handle Python exception within while loop. I'll explain two scenarios to handle exception within while loop. One is basic try except within while loop. Another one is continue statement with exception handling. First, we'll see what exactly is exception handling. It is a programming mechanism that manages unexpected runtime errors or anomalous events. Instead of crashing, it allows a program to catch the error, execute a fallback action, and continue running smoothly. Exceptional handling will help us to manage the unexpected runtime errors. We will get many runtime errors while running the code. That might be unexpected. We may not have the idea of getting those errors. By using exception handling, those kind of errors can be managed. Instead of crashing, it will allow us to catch that error and will perform a action and we will continue to run the same code without any interruptions. If we get any error in between while running the code, by using exceptional handling, we can avoid crashing of program, and even though the error exists, we can continue running the program. We'll see what kind of error we'll get and how to avoid that and continue to run the code. Let's start with first concept, that is basic try except within while loop. A basic try except block within a while loop allows a program to handle errors gracefully and continue running without crashing. This pattern is most commonly used for input validation, where a loop continues prompt a user until they provide valid data. As I said, these concepts will help us to handle the errors without crashing. We can continue to run the program. This pattern, which we are using in these examples, this is most commonly used for input validation, where the loop continues to prompt the user until they provide valid data. For example, while taking the user input, if any user enters the wrong input, it is not going to crash or give an error or stop running the whole program. Loop continues to prompt user until they provide valid data. This loop continuously runs. Again, it will ask the question until the user enters the valid data. Now we'll see an example for this. First, we'll import time and random. We have used sleep function inside this code. So for that, time module is important. And we have also generated a random numbers, you can see here, by using random functions. For that, we have used a random module. We have imported here both time and random modules. Then we'll create a function. We'll define a function by using def keyword. Define process customer data is the name of our function which we have defined. Now we'll simulate processing customer data that might fail. In customers variable, we have names of customers, and counter is initially we have assigned to 0, but we'll increment it. When we increment it, it will go on increasing 1, 2, and so on. And we will write the condition to control the increment. The condition is customer less than 10. If this condition is true, when the numbers are from 0 and less than 10, we are writing these if conditions inside try, because simulate random error that might occur in real application, which means these are the scenarios where we are suspected to get the errors. So we are writing those conditions inside try blocks. What are those conditions which may throw error? We'll see. If random dot random function, by using the random module, we are writing a random function and that is less than 0.3. Here it will generate random numbers between 0 to 1. The in between numbers is randomly generated. There is a 30% chance of error in this. Then if this happens, then we'll write raise a value error and we'll print database connection failed. This is the first scenario where we suspect to get the error. Then we will generate the random number. If that generated random number is less than 0.2, here there is 20% of getting an error. Then if it is happening, then we will raise connection error and we will print API timeout occurred. Let's process random customers. In choice function, we are passing customers variable. Customers variable is nothing but these names. Okay. Inside the customer variable, it will choose random customer names from this list. Now we'll take the processing time. processing time will be taken from 0.5 to 2 seconds by using random module and uniform function. Inside the processing time variable, this time is stored, and time dot sleep of processing time. Whatever the random generated number will be there, that will be the sleeping time. Sleeping time is nothing but the time which we will use to pause the program. After that, we will print successfully proceeded customer and customer name. One customer will be selected here from the random choice. After that, it will take some time, processing time, and then it will print successfully proceeded. If successfully proceeded, then it will increment the counter variable. That is, it will go to next customer. Else, it will take an exceptional error. First exception is value error as VE, and we'll print database error. We'll use this exception to handle the database related issues. The next exception is connection error. The name we are considering is CE, and we'll print network error. This exception is used to handle API or network related issues. If anything other than this occurs, except exception will print unexpected error. This will help to overcome any other error crashes. If all these conditions true, we'll print the customer name, else we will go for these exceptional errors. After all this, we will have a small delay before the next iteration. We are taking sleep time as 0.5 seconds after all this, and then we will print completed processing of these many customers. We will print the counter value. As the counter value goes on incrementing, it will stop on a condition which we have written over here while less than 10. So it will print the total number of customers that we have considered. To run the function, we are writing the name of the function. I hope you understood this example. In this example, we have customer data processing system where it will process the customer records, it will handle possible errors, and it will run until this condition, I mean until the 10 customers proceeded successfully. This is the overall idea of this example. Now we'll run this code. You can observe the time pause it is taking in between. These are the output we are getting. When the first customer is considered and was processing the data, there was a network error and then database connection failed, which means while generating the random number, it didn't meet this condition. And then same again, the random number is not meeting this condition. After that, met the condition and all this was successful. So only it is printing successful message and it will take some processing time of few seconds and then it will proceed. So we have successfully completed the processing of 10 customers. I hope you understood this example. Now we'll see the next method, that is continue statement with exception handling. It allows the program to handle an error and immediately jump back to the start point of the next iteration. This prevents the program from crashing while skipping any remaining code in the current loop iteration that would have run if no errors has occurred. Continue statement here will jump back to the start of the next iteration. If any errors are occurring, it will just skip. Continue is nothing but if the error is there, just continue and go to next iteration. It will prevent the program from crashing while skipping any remaining code. Current loop iteration would run if there is no error occurred in the current running loop. We'll see an example for this. Now I'll tell basic ideology of this example. In this example, we will process sales record, which will be stored inside JSON string, and it will validate each records and it will handle error and it will skip some invalid records also. For this, to skip the invalid records, we will use continue statement and finally we will generate sales summary. This is what we'll work on in this example. Now we'll see the example code. First, we have imported JSON and time. You know why we will import time, because we'll use sleep function for processing time. JSON here we have imported because JSON strings we have used. First, we'll define a function. in the name process sales data. Now we'll process the sales data with error handling and continuous statement. This is a sample sales data that might have error. Inside sales records variable, we have the data where it will cause error and we have some missing values also. We can see here, we'll see how to handle this by using continue. We are initializing three different variables that are total sales, processed count and current index. We are initializing all three variables as 0. The condition we are writing here is while current index less than length of sales records. This is the condition. Inside the try block, we are writing these conditions, if conditions, which means here we are suspected to get the errors. First, we'll parse the JSON data. That means we'll convert JSON to dictionary. In the record variable, JSON dot loads of sales records of current index. After passing JSON data, we will validate the required fields by writing the if condition. That is, if not record.get of customers, which means here we are checking whether the customer names exist or not. If not, which means if this condition becomes true, then it will raise a value error called missing customer name. Then we will see if not record.get amount or record of amount is none, which means here we are ensuring that the sales amount exists. It should not be none value also. Not if this not condition becomes true, then it will raise a value error and say invalid sales amount. Here we will process valid record. That means here we will extract the customer name and sales amount to customer and amount variable. To this variable, we will take customer name and here we will convert it to float and record of we will extract amount. After this extraction, here we will add sales amount to total sales and we will increment the processed count by 1. Then we will print the processed customer names along with the amount. Here we will handle the JSON error by writing exception JSON.json decode error and then we will print record the current index plus 1 and then invalid JSON format and we will tell that we are skipping that. After printing this error message, we will increment the current index by 1 and here we will write the continue statement. Here we have a invalid JSON. This might get caught in this exception. Here it will tell invalid JSON format. Those kind of values will be considered here. And then we will handle missing customer names. Here we will handle value error as VE and we will print the record current index and we will tell that we are skipping. Then we will increment current index by 1 and we will write continue. Here we will catch any other unexpected errors by writing the exception. We will write as E and we'll print the current index plus 1. We will write unexpected error and skipping that. Increment current index by 1 and write the continue statement. Continue statement will continue when the error occurs. It will help to continue running the code when an error occurs by skipping the remaining code in the top and it will move to next record. If you are not writing the continue, those additional code might still execute without skipping. For that reason, we will use this. Then after that, we will increment the current index by 1 and here we will take a small delay of 0.1 second of sleep time. At last, we are printing sales summary, total records, total sales and average sales. And to execute this function, we'll write the function name. I hope you understood this example. Now we'll run this code. You can see here it is displaying processed customer along with the amount. This statement, Walmart. This has been executed and target has been executed. When it comes to invalid JSON, you can see here we have written the exception called invalid JSON format and skipping. If you have remember that this one, it is executing and again these values are executed and the total summarize total records are 4. This is total sales and average sales. This is all about continuous statement. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.